Republican Senator Susan Collins is unopposed in the GOP primary. Voter Annette Babcock picking Plattner.
I feel he's the best candidate, and he has the best shot of beating Susan Collins.
Fellow Sullivan resident Brenda Wood not Team Plattner.
He's a disgrace.
Plattner has been dogged by sexually explicit text messages he reportedly sent to women while married. Voter John Keenan says everybody has personal issues.
It's not what his personal issues are, it's what he stands for.
I'm Julie Walker.
House Republicans have passed a nearly $70 billion bill to fund immigration enforcement agencies for the next 3 years. On Wall Street, the Dow by 86 points, the Nasdaq dropped 250. More at townhall.com.
Progressive knows that boat days can come with unexpected problems.
It's been a tough Saturday on the lake. I ordered swim trunks in this orange cream color, but it's actually more orange auburn. Oh, and it's swimwear. I probably can't even return these.
If a real problem comes along, your boat's protected 24/7 with Progressive, so you can keep worrying about boater problems. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in D.C.
Hi, this is Rhett Rasmussen of BestHotGrill.com. We make the amazing Solaire infrared gas grills that are built to last and will consistently deliver better than restaurant grilled food. The Solaire infrared burner heats up to 1,000 degrees in just 3 minutes, even in the dead of winter. The high heat locks in the juices and flavor and grills food faster. Learn more about these fantastic USA-made grills at BestHotGrill.com. Solaire, hot, fast grills at BestHotGrill.com.
Here's the Wall Street Business Report.
If you bought a house last month, you certainly were not alone.
Used home sales accelerated to their fastest pace since December, a sharp turnaround in demand for the housing market after a lackluster start to the spring home buying season. The National Association of Realtors says existing home sales rose 3.2% in May from the previous month to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 4.17 million houses. Sales also rose 3.2% compared to May of last year. The latest figures topped what economists were expecting, according to FactSet. Rich Thomason reporting.
U.S. Airlines spent nearly $6.5 billion on jet fuel in April. The Bureau of Transportation Statistics says that's a 78% jump compared to a year earlier. Another sudden reversal for high-flying artificial intelligence stocks. The close of NASDAQ was down 250 points. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew.
News and analysis at townhall.com.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. We will cool down, but not too much this evening. The low dips down to about 72. Tomorrow, it's a nice blend of sunshine and clouds. We'll be warmer. The high temperature is 92, and we get even hotter for Thursday and Friday. More of the same mix of sunshine and clouds. Highs around 96. A feels-like temperature reaching triple digits. Yeah, summer is about here. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, and fireplaces. Spring sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point.
This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com.
The Point.
This is Sports Talk with Phil Kornblut and Chris Bergen. Sports Talk is heard across the state on radio affiliates of the Sports Talk Media Network and is streaming live on SportsTalkSC.com, as well as Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. The South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number to call in is 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now, here are Phil and Chris with tonight's edition of Sports Talk.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to Sports Talk, Sports Talk Media Network. Talking Tuesday coming at you from hot Columbia with hot Sports Talk hosts, The Corn. Ew. And even hotter Sports Talk host, Chris Bergen from the Bergie Palace over in Sardis. And the extremely not hot, the plumber, Josh Cohen. Our phone number, 888-898-2525. South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number. Text line number is 803-900-4847, 803-900-4847. So the great nightmare for Gamecock Nation is over. The puff of garnet smoke came out of the exhaust pipe of Jeremiah Donati, and it's now official. Well, there's a Board of Trustee meeting tomorrow afternoon to make it official. But it will be Kevin Schnall as a new baseball coach at South Carolina, coming from Coastal Carolina. And Bergie, I don't think that they could really do any better for their situation. They needed to go ahead and get this done. They got a good young coach with great experience. I mean, a guy that has learned at the elbow of one of the greats of the game in Gary Gilmore, a guy who was instrumental in helping build a national championship team once and then rebuild it to a near national championship level a second time. Known around the state of South Carolina, but also known in other areas of the country with his recruiting. A guy with a game plan. It's one thing I like. It's a guy with a game plan. I guess other coaches have game plans. Everybody's got a game plan. But he has a game plan on how to play the game of baseball. You know what you're going to get typically from a Kevin Schnall coached baseball team. So I think the hire is a very good one by Jeremiah Donati. See no reason why Kevin Schnall will not come into South Carolina with all the facilities that he'll have at his fingertips to a show-off and everything else that'll be pumped into the program. I'm sure they've given him a very nice contract. I'm sure they've made promises of NIL dollars and everything else that you need. And I see no reason why he won't come in and have a very successful program. Does that mean Omaha every year? Of course not. Does that mean multiple national championships? Who knows? But I think they'll be competitive. I think they'll be right now in the battle of things in the Southeastern Conference, and I think they'll put a very respectable team on the field year in and year out in Columbia.
Yeah, I think if you're a Gamecock fan, this is a good day for you because you got the right guy. And the only question I would have, and it's a question directly for Jeremiah Donati, why did this take nearly 10 days to get done? The obvious choice. I thought Kendall Rogers from D1 Baseball brought it up perfectly in his comments about it today. He said, look, South Carolina got the right guy and didn't overthink the process. Even though they were flirting, it appeared, with other coaches, Kevin Schnall is the guy they need. Kevin Schnall is going to bring in an attitude that South Carolina baseball has been desperately lacking. They're going to play hard, extremely hard, and they're going to do things the right way, and they're going to be extremely detail-oriented. I just can't say enough good things. I've always been a Kevin Schnall fan, obviously watching him over at Coastal. The only negative to this, from my perspective, is it hurts Coastal baseball. And now, Chance Miller, you're on the clock, and you've got to get your hire correct, and you may have the guy that you should hire sitting right around the corner from your office. And Chad Oxendine, I think, would make a perfect successor to Kevin Schnall at Coastal. We'll see which direction CCU goes. But from a Gamecock perspective, they got this hire right.
You know, people talking about the days. I hear you. I hear what you're saying. And, yeah, it needed to get done. But, you know, you just can't, as an athletics director, you just can't snap your fingers and make all these things happen in today's world. It's just not like it was years ago. You make a phone call, hey, you want to come coach for me? Fine, I'll see you tomorrow. It doesn't happen that way. There's a lot of layers, a lot of hurdles. I do believe that this thing was done, at least in theory and at least in understanding, like wink, wink. And, again, it doesn't have to be between AD and the head coach. It can be between the AD, the search committee, and the head coach's agent. You know, the head coach is busy doing other things. He'll tell his agent, you know, tell me when I need to know something. You know what we're looking for. You know what it'll take. Let me know when something gets done. So, I mean, I am thinking that there was some sort of understanding in principle. In the meantime, Donati doing athletic director type things, continuing to feel out other coaches. He's got to do his due diligence. He's got to do right by the job, which means, I mean, unless you are landing on a Joe Torre in baseball, let's say, or Bobby Cox, or you're landing on a Vince Lombardi in football, whatever, a Red Auerbach in basketball, unless you're hitting on somebody that's, you know, is gold and is going to be a Hall of Famer. You know, okay, but you got to do your due diligence here a little bit. Talk to other people, but from the very beginning, the insider reporters on this, John Whittle, Jamie Bradford, Chenal was the number one guy mentioned along with some others, but it was always Kevin Chenal, Kevin Chenal, Kevin Chenal. And that's what everybody was led to believe at every turn. And it was really just a matter of time before they got it done. Were there some things that needed to be done on the Coastal side of things, maybe to get him all the way to the finish line? Perhaps. Maybe we'll find out more when they have a press conference after they get this thing done tomorrow with the Board of Trustees. Will they try and squeeze in a press conference tomorrow afternoon, or will they wait until Friday? I guess we'll find out at some point in time. But the bottom line is he is the new coach at South Carolina, and they need, as Monty Lee said many times when he was asked after ball games in press conference settings as the interim coach at South Carolina, a guy that really loves the program at South Carolina, not going to get a chance to be the permanent head coach, but still has great affection for the program. You can tell that yourself by listening to him. They've got to put some stability in the program. They've got to have a guy that's going to be here and be there for the right reasons. And I think, obviously, Chenal is taking advantage of a financial opportunity that South Carolina will provide him, and also a chance to coach in the SEC, which is probably the dream of every baseball coach in the country on the collegiate level. And I think he can make this a career move for him, too. I mean, once you come to South Carolina and you build it, there's no reason to really want to go anywhere else, I would say.
No, I think you're 100% correct. And he's a guy that I think can build it from the ground up, because basically that's what he's going to have to do, considering the amount of guys that have already defected from the program, and then watching the amount of guys that are starting to filter out into the transfer portal. From Coastal's perspective, he may already have a built-in safety nets and guys to bring to Columbia. But no, I think if he's successful, and here's a guy who won 93 games in 2 years as a head coach at Coastal. I get it, maybe not playing day in and day out, as difficult and grueling a schedule as he's going to face now. But nonetheless, the guy's a winner. He knows how to win, and I think he'll be highly successful at USC. Looking forward to press conferences with him, too, because he's got a little bit of that Jersey in him. And it comes out in those press conferences. So, he gives as well as he takes, I would say. So if you come at him with something sharp, he can come back at you with something sharp, I can tell. So looking forward to that, and looking forward to him coming to South Carolina and having a very successful career. Changed up the poll question after the reporting got out that it was going to officially be Chenal. And our poll question is now presented by Larry Lucas State Farm Insurance, 803-799-1998 in Columbia, and 803-359-0770 in Lexington. What grade do you give the Kevin Chenal hire at USC? Do you give it a home run? Do you give it a triple? Do you give it a double? Or do you give it a single? So what do you think? Home run, triple, double, single. So far, 50% of the votes say it's a home run. 29.2% give him a triple. I'm going to assume that's a stand-up triple. 16.7% a double, and 4.2% see it as a single, Bergie. Yeah, I don't see how that's possible. I mean, what are you looking for if you think Kevin Chenal is just a single? I mean, are we going back to the Bobby Cox, Joe Torre analogy once again? I mean, the guy is not a miracle worker right off the bat. And so, no, but I think just judging by what he was able to do, both as an associate head coach at CCU, helping Gary Gilmore build that program, to what he was able to maintain once he took over as head coach a couple of seasons ago, I don't think it's anything aside from a home run hire. I'd like to hear the reasoning. You think it's a single, and certainly understand. I mean, I would imagine there'll be skeptics until he gets it done on the field in Columbia. Always. The other thing, too, in building this roster, because they've got over 20 in the free agent portal. I think they're up to about 22 now. I think South Carolina is 22 or 23 with today's entries. And Coastal's had several go into the free agency portal as well. And according to reports, many of those individuals have put the no contact lock on their account, which usually indicates they've kind of knowing where they're going. So
if you're, hey, man, I mean, take the template used at Indiana football. Get the best players that you left behind who want to follow you, and then add some other good players to them, and all of a sudden you've got a roster that's very competitive in the SEC. I got a feeling that's what he's going to do.
Yeah, I think so. I think he'll bring in, and the thing, it goes back to the point you brought up earlier, Phil, about a guy with a plan. It reminds me so much of what we talked about when South Carolina football hired Kendall Briles. Shane Beamer was bringing in Kendall Briles' offense because he's got an offense he wants to run. He knows what he expects from his quarterbacks, his running backs, his wideouts, the offensive line, you name it. Same thing here. Kevin Snow knows how he wants to play baseball. If you get a runner at first and nobody out, you can almost guarantee they're going to sacrifice that runner to second if he doesn't steal second base. Mm-hmm. If they get him to second and nobody out, he's going to third. That's how they play. They will sacrifice. They'll hit the long ball if they can, mm-hmm. and they certainly have over the years. But they are very good at small ball. They are very disciplined in what they do, and that's their style. So, yeah, I think in terms of getting the players that he wants, he knows exactly the style of player he has to get to fit his style of play on the field.
All right, looking forward to hearing what you have to say about the hiring of Kevin Schnall. It also would appear, based on what John Whittle has reported and Jamie Bradford, other insider types in the baseball world, that Matt Williams will be joining him. That's a key cog as well, a guy that was the assistant baseball coach of the year last season at Coastal Carolina and renowned pitching coach. So that's a great start right there. We'll see who else comes with him from his coaching staff, but that's a great start to have a guy who not only got it done at Coastal, had gotten it done at South Carolina as well
exactly.
before he wasn't retained by the Maneri staff. So he gets to come back to Columbia and kind of pick up where he left off.
I think that may be the most ironic and funny from a irony standpoint, not necessarily from a ha-ha standpoint, that Matt Williams is coming back to Columbia and gets a chance to. I don't know that he necessarily has to redo what he did before, because if memory serves, the Gamecock pitching staff in terms of ERAs under him right around 5 his year in the SEC. That was middle of the pack, if not upper echelon of the pack, when he was the pitching coach for the Gamecocks back in 2024, team that also recorded nearly 600 strikeouts. So they know how to pitch around the plate, and they were certainly terrific last year. Not quite as good this year, but still, I mean, just an exceptional pitching coach. And I think the fact he's going to get another shot at USC is really, really cool.
All right. Coming up at the top of hour number 2 is Kevin Schnall. Does he have DNA Hall of Fame material? Does he have that in his future? No one better to ask that question of than a Hall of Famer himself, somebody who knows Kevin Schnall better than anybody else on the planet outside of his family. And that's Gary Gilmore, and the coach will be with us again, top of the second hour. And now he can talk freely because it's done. It's done, almost official, but it's done. He can talk about it freely. The other thing, too, is, Gary Gilmore, will he take this opportunity himself to make himself more of a presence around the South Carolina baseball program now?
Interesting question.
Or do those fires still burn deeply of hate against the Gamecocks? Well, we'll ask
Just
him.
make sure we don't bring back up the 2010 Super Regional when we're talking to Coach.
Yes, we won't.
That's still going to stick in his craw probably until he's done.
I see no reason to go there with him, to be quite honest with you.
I would agree.
I see no reason. All right, if you want to join us, we got time for your calls after the break, so go ahead and jump on the lines. Those of you who are capable of dialing in, 888-898-25. Ooh, a bunch of them have. 888-898-2525. You are capable. I know that. You can also text us. That number is 803-900-4847. 803-900-4847. Be back in just a moment.
If you're a new parent or grandparent, it might be tough to picture your little ones heading off to college, but it'll be here before you know it. I'm State Treasurer Curtis Loftus. Future Scholar, South Carolina's 529 college savings plan, makes it easy to start saving for a child's future education right now. You can start with any amount. Contributions are tax deductible and earnings grow tax free. Discover the smart, easy way to save for college today at futurescholar.com. That's futurescholar.com.
Looking for thrills? Then welcome to the South Carolina Education Lottery, where excitement's the name of the game, and every chance at a win
Just one more. Come on, so close.
comes with a chance of a whiff.
Ugh. Well, no biggie.
Nicely done. You handled it like a pro. Because when the stakes start getting too real and you find yourself playing for more than fun, it might be time to take a break.
Good point.
Playing for fun makes you a better player, and a better player is a better you. Learn more at SCEducationLottery.com.
In 2012, inside Clemson football's weight room, a different kind of barbell was developed. The Tsunami Bar is a flexible, oscillating bar designed to enhance high-intensity training while helping reduce joint stress. Unlike traditional rigid bars, it moves. That movement forces your stabilizer muscles to activate, your core to engage, and your body to produce force more efficiently. The result is improved strength, better balance, and more functional performance. Tsunami Bar Sports continues to provide innovative, dynamic training solutions that empower individuals of all fitness levels to reach their peak potential. Whether you're training for general fitness, building resilience, or improving rotational strength for sports like golf, the Tsunami Bar challenges your body in ways traditional equipment cannot. Learn more at TsunamiBarSports.com.
Hot day today in South Carolina, hot and humid. The perfect weather conditions to get to the beach and cool off. You're looking for a place to stay, you're looking for a house, a condo, something that's really special and just for you. Right size, right place, right price. Jimmy Smith, James Smith Real Estate, that's all you got to know. 843-237-4246 for your perfect beach getaway. 843-237-4246. Also at Paulie's vacationrentals.com. Bergie, you're going on a little vacation next week, huh?
I am. Headed over to Atlanta. Your stomping grounds.
Like I said, who
May
goes
go stay
to
with your
Atlanta
folks.
for a vacation?
Will you have private security with you?
No. I don't quite get the presidential treatment the way the president did last night at Madison Square Garden for the. I'm guessing they don't want President Trump to come back and watch the Knicks play again.
Probably not.
After last night.
From what I hear, when
it's the only time he can go.
The last time Phil was at your house, he said, private security, gated fence.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful yard.
We'll not have it on the road. Yeah, we're actually going to a World Cup soccer match next Monday.
Watch out for the hooligans. Who are playing? Who's playing?
That's part of it. It's Spain and Cape Verde.
Nice. Is this a real? This is a real one, or is this a friendly?
Yes. No. This is a real World Cup. The matches actually start Thursday, I believe.
I've been boning up on my soccer lingo. A friendly. That's one that doesn't
nice.
count.
Yeah, the U.S. men's national team.
5-0. 5-0
football?
is.
Isn't it football? Football.
No, we just call it football. We soccer fanatics. We just call it football. The rest of you people.
There you go.
I don't know what your sport is. You call football. Our sport is football, the original. 5-0 is 5-0, and on goal is a goal that your own team scores.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. In your goal, in your net. I'm ready. Bring it on.
I'm impressed. I am impressed. Yeah, the U.S. men's national team, I think all our matches are out on the West Coast, and they were unaffordable, to say the least. So
not surprised.
This is a little bit cheaper value. So, and my wife, she grew up playing soccer, so I thought this would be a really cool opportunity for her. So
a nice guy.
I'm just going to go over and watch the fans. I'm like you. I want to see the fans.
Yeah.
That's what I'm excited about.
All right, let's go to Delvin in Fountain Inn. First call tonight here on Sports Talk. Delvin, welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Phil? How you doing, Bergie?
We're good. We're all
great,
good.
Dylan. How are you?
Yeah, I think this is a great hire, home run hire. Kevin Snell coming in. You see what he done at Coastal Carolina. question is, what's next for Coastal? Maybe you can ask Coach Gilmore what do you think about Chad Oxendine taking over at Coastal. And I hope this don't take as long as South Carolina did. I don't think this is going to take as long as South Carolina did, the coaching search.
Well, we'll see. You know, every AD keeps a list in his drawer of people he wants to talk to. I mean, I'd love to see Monty Lee get in the mix there. Monty deserves a chance to coach somewhere. I'd love to see him get in the mix there if he wanted to. But it might be one of those things, Bergie, they want to keep it in the family.
And considering the success that the Coastal baseball program, as Delvin pointed out, has seen over the last 4 decades, I'm not so sure that's necessarily a bad route to go. And you've got a guy who certainly understands that in Chad Oxendine already on the staff. Of course, we've also seen the names of Chris Lamonis, who is a Grand Strand native, grew up down around the Myrtle Beach area, so he's an option. I think Monty Lee is certainly probably an option. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see which way Chance Miller goes.
Yeah, and guys, still in baseball, on the coaching search, we more fall out from the short of thing. Now you got Big 12 having a meeting tomorrow. They might some teams so they won't even play the test technique. Then you got Georgia and I think it's somebody from the Big 10 said, hey, take them off your schedule. We're not playing them.
Yeah,
you're
going to have a hard time, and thank you, Delvin. Appreciate the phone call. You're going to have a hard time backing that up, those kind of threats up, aren't you, Bergie? Because, I mean, if you've got contracts or you're part of a league and you say you're not going to play them, well, you're going to forfeit? I mean, you can count it as a forfeit then? You know, what are you going to do? So, I mean, look, it stinks from a sporting standpoint, and it stinks from a Texas Tech standpoint because Texas Tech's just becoming the devil. They're becoming the devil here in college sports. I mean, they're becoming the bad guy, which I guess they kind of like that reputation down there in Lubbock with all the things that have gone on there. And they have money, they have power, they have a booster in a position of great power in the CSC, and there's they're turning a blind eye to the concept that you don't bet on college sports if you're an athlete, and you don't bet on your own team if you're an athlete. They're turning a blind eye to that, and they're placing it on mental health. You know, they're focusing on, they're putting the blame on the mental health of the individual, and using that as sort of their rationale here, that we can't punish a guy for having a mental health issue that he's getting resolved, and his mental health issue happened to be gambling, and he's gotten help for that, and he shouldn't be punished for it. But then again, you know, you got these hard and fast rules in all levels of sports about gambling, and especially about putting money on your own team to either win or lose, and it's all about and they do this, you know, obviously for the trust factor. When you buy your ticket or when you're watching on television, you know, you should have 100% belief that the people playing are there to win at all, not at all costs, but at all effort. Everything that they're doing is to try to win that game, not to do something to help them profit on a bet that they made.
Yeah, when we start questioning the integrity of the game, we're no further. Yeah, we're closer to professional wrestling than we are athletics. And Georgia taking the high moral ground. That's kind of funny.
Really?
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. We will cool down, but not too much this evening. The low dips down to about 72. Tomorrow, it's a nice blend of sunshine and clouds. We'll be warmer. The high temperature is 92. And we get even hotter for Thursday and Friday. More of the same mix of sunshine and clouds. Highs around 96. A feels-like temperature reaching triple digits. Yeah, summer is about here. I'm Cal Moss with your on-point local weather.
Join us Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. for the Pastor's Pulpit with Steve Williamson.
People say out of the side of their mouth, oh, I believe in God. And then you tell them what God's Word says about what they're doing.
9 a.m. Sunday morning for the Pastor's Pulpit.
Ralph Norman keeps saying he's for
term limits.
Term limits. Term limits. But he's been in office for 20 years. That's 10 terms. Ralph Norman, just another career politician saying one thing and doing another.
Paid for by Ready for Government.
The law. With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The U.S. military has begun strikes against Iran following the crash of a U.S. Army Apache helicopter off the coast of Oman. President Trump blamed Iran for the incident, calling it unjustified aggression. The crash reportedly involved a collision with an Iranian drone, though it's unclear if it was intentional. The U.S. Central Command describes the strikes as a proportional response. House Republicans have passed a nearly $70 billion bill to fund immigration enforcement agencies for the next 3 years and the rest of President Donald Trump's term in office. The bill now goes to Trump to be signed into law. On Wall Street, the Dow by 86 points, but the Nasdaq dropped 250, the S&P 500 lower by 19. More details at srnnews.com.
Here's an important message from Dr. Annie Andrews.
Hello again, South Carolina. This is Dr. Annie Andrews, and with your help, on Tuesday, June 9th, we are going to send Lindsey Graham home. As a South Carolinian, a mom, and a pediatrician, I've always believed in the power of fighting for our shared values. Fighting for affordable and accessible housing, childcare, and healthcare. Fighting to protect Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and SNAP benefits for seniors and working families. Fighting for good-paying jobs and ensuring that rural communities have the same options and opportunities as urban and suburban communities. Fighting for a South Carolina where we can all live, work, raise our families, and retire with dignity. With your vote and support on Tuesday, June 9th, we can take a big step toward sending Lindsey Graham home and fighting for those shared values together. I'm Dr. Annie Andrews, and I'm asking one last time for your vote for U.S. Senate on Tuesday, June 9th. I'm Dr. Annie Andrews, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Dr. Annie Andrews for Senate.
When storms hit the Midlands, who do you trust to keep your family safe and dry? Shingos Now, your local family-owned pros. Charlie and Rodney, both GAF Master Elite contractors, deliver honest, top-quality roof repairs and replacements. Licensed, insured, and proud to offer free inspections and estimates, we make protection stress-free and affordable. You can count on Shingos Now, the team that treats you like family. Shingos Now, roof repairs right away. Visit shinglesnow.com today.
Nothing better than a Saturday night in Casey, West Columbia. It's the return of Rhythm on the River, proudly presented by the Greater Casey, West Columbia Chamber and Prisma Health. Come out to the Savage Stage at Savage Craft Airworks on Center Street this Saturday and give a listen to Queens of Country. It's family-friendly and pet-friendly. This year, we even have pop-up vans of various local businesses. For more information on this and all events, check out cwcchamber.com/Rhythm on the River, and we'll see you Saturday at Rhythm on the River.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Hey, Albert, can you help us plan and budget for a bathroom renovation?
I certainly can. Let me review your finances.
Who are you talking to?
Albert, my AI financial assistant that I can access right in the app. It automates all things finance, moves money, pays bills, creates personalized alerts, finds savings, and so much more.
Your bathroom renovation financial plan is ready. I found cash you can put aside, and to cover the rest, Albert can get you up to $10,000 fast.
Can you find contractors nearby within our budget?
Here's a list of contractors. Would you like help requesting a $10,000 loan for your bathroom renovation?
Yes! Download the Albert app and use promo code CASH to access Genius. Plus, get up to $10,000 for whatever you need. Just download the Albert app right now and use promo code CASH to get up to $10,000. That's promo code CASH.
Stare like he knew exactly what was there. Mud on the cleats, sweat on the plan. Built for the fight, built for the stand from the first pitch.
Yes. The Sports Talk Orchestra gets it together in a hurry. A little tribute to Kevin Schnall.
He's not dead.
That's still a tribute.
They didn't say a eulogy.
Garnet smoke rising. All right. Kevin Schnall. Garnet smoke rising. I like that. Thank you, Sports Talk Orchestra, for putting that
I'm the
together.
conductor of the orchestra.
Phone number 888-898-2525, South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number to reach us here on Sports Talk. And our text line number is 803-900-4847 to reach us as well. And got recruiting coming up for you. Gary Gilmore at the top of the hour. Josh Harris, bottom of the second hour, kind of a snoozer at Michigan. You get that from time to time. You know, everybody expects a NASCAR race to finish bumper to bumper, side by side, and you get that more often than not, but not this time. 11-second win by Denny Hamlin at Michigan. As he's gotten hot now, and as the summertime has rolled around, Denny Hamlin is heating up. So we'll talk more about that with Josh and other things around Darlington coming up, bottom of hour number 2. Get back to your phone calls. And also, Dabo Swinney, I'm going to get into this. Dabo Swinney did a sit-down interview with Chris Lowe of On 3. It was On 3. And some very interesting quotes that we'll read to you from Dabo Swinney. Dabo Swinney being Dabo Swinney. And just laid it all out there. If you haven't read it, we'll share some of that with you coming up. In the meantime, let's go to Hank in Columbia. Next up with us here on Sports Talk. Hank, good to have you. Home run, triple, double, single. What do you think?
I think it's a home run. I thought, remember I told you, you asked me last week, I think I would be Snow, and I think that Snow would be the obvious choice. And, you know, my only concern was sometimes South Carolina doesn't pick the obvious choice, and then that's how we get into some of the issues we get into.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the time span, I think everybody kind of really, I think the time span actually that it took to get done was normal, because I read the story that they put out. I can't remember if it was the Big Sport Gamecock Central put out about it. And, you know, you had Coastal getting back on a Monday. Since they used a firm, they had a couple of different candidates that they could speak to, which I think was important, because whenever you're going to pay this amount of money, normally you're really supposed to be obligated to speak to at least 3 people in this state.
Mm-hmm.
But also you want to show that you actually used the search firm and didn't just pay the search firm and then went and got the guy that everybody thought they were going to get in the first place. Because oftentimes that gets you detractors who say you didn't cast a wide net. But then in the story, it said that Snow and them had talked a couple weeks ago by Zoom. It said that meeting in Florence that everybody was talking about happened on Thursday.
That's correct.
In Florence. And then it said on Saturday he had a Zoom with the president. And me being in education before, I've hired a number of football and basketball coaches. And so normally that last talk happens with the person outside of the athletic department that is the president. So you have that. Then you have Sunday. And I would assume, from my experience, yesterday would have been getting all the stuff back to the Board of Trustees. You never want to go into a vote not knowing that the Board of Trustees are going to support your recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
And so that leaves you with kind of getting that deal done, signing tomorrow, and Board of Trustees meeting tomorrow. Getting the deal done and getting the understanding, which the announcement comes out today, and go to a Board of Trustees meeting tomorrow. I just thought people were crazy thinking that Coastal could finish on a Monday and all of a sudden they'd have this guy hired by Wednesday, because that's just not how it's done anymore.
You're correct. Yeah. Again, it doesn't happen overnight. I do think, again, because of the information that Alan Smothers had and shared with us last week, I do think there's reason to believe that there was some understanding going on between both sides. And while the search continued with maybe some other conversations and maybe some other contacts, I think that when you factor in how an agent might operate how a search firm might operate, and the way that you have to handle these things without going directly to the head coach that you want to hire until you're absolutely ready to get that done. But again, I think there was some understanding as early as last week that this was going to be the ultimate decision.
Yeah, what you said right there, Corn, is another thing I was going to say. Normally, the guy that you know you're going to get, you kind of, or you know that you really want, you kind of give him that inkling, but then you'll let that person know you're going to speak to a couple of different people because the search has to be, thorough. And so in the time that you're kind of putting stuff together, normally that's the time that you go and you speak with a couple of other candidates so that when you start to sit down with the person you really want, you sit down and you talk with them, make sure everything's straight, and then you start to hammer out some stuff. Because you see bringing an assistant coach and some other things, you start to make sure that everything's straight. So I just thought that I never thought that in this situation, given the way that the last two hires had gone, that you're just going to grab a guy on Tuesday. I would bet you would have had more people in your poll saying you didn't look around enough if it had happened that quickly than what you have now. So that's just my thoughts, and I'll
Thank you very much. Good stuff. What do you think, Bergie?
Well, I think to Hank's point about folks maybe wondering about, I even asked the question why it took so long. It's the timeline you're in right now with regards to the transfer portal. You really can't waste a whole lot of time. And Phil, since you brought up Alan, let's give credit where credit's due. Alan actually sent you and I a text. We didn't run with it then, but he sent us a text that his information was, and this was before the NCAA tournament even started, back on May 26th. He said Snall was going to get the job back then. So that was 2.5, almost 3 weeks ago. So if all of Alan's information actually turned out to be right, if that's the case, then Jeremiah Donati had been working on getting Kevin Snall in the fold for a good little while here, even before Coastal season was done.
Yeah. Again, there's reason to believe from that standpoint, the information that he had that he shared with us, that there was some understanding taking place, some communication, and again, it just takes time for everything to get done to get to the final point, which was reached. I think John Whittle said actually early this morning when the final, I guess, agreement, not an in-person handshake, but a yes and a yes were exchanged through whatever form of conversation they were having. All right, we go to Tiger Bryan. Tiger Bryan in Lancaster. Hello, Tiger Bryan. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great, guys. I'll tell you what, y'all need to change them songs. Why don't you do one about a tiger?
Well, I think we're going to do something.
Come on, man.
But I mean, the Tigers, you didn't just hire a coach. If you didn't just hire a coach. Yeah.
I'm cutting up with you.
No, you're good. You're good. I understand.
Yeah,
we're nothing if we're not fair and balanced here.
Y'all fair and balanced. I'll give you credit for that, Cole. Let me ask you, what about my old homeboy Matt Williams? Where's he at now? Is he still at Coastal?
He's coming to South Carolina again.
Oh, he's coming with him? He's the coach?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's cool. That's good. Me and his daddy worked together for years at school district. But, yeah, I know that when he was young, and that's how old I am. But,
nothing but good things about that guy. Hear nothing but good things. Of course, we had exposure to him when he was at South Carolina the first time around just a couple of years ago. How many years was he here under Kingston? You remember, Bergie? Was it just a couple years?
Was it just a 1 year?
Well, just one?
That's a great question.
Yeah, go back and look that up. But nothing but good things about him. And you know him better than we do.
Yeah, he's a great guy. His daddy's a great man. Yeah, he'll do fine. I might have to pull for Carolina a little bit. Don't let my Tiger fans.
Look out!
Tiger friends.
Look out!
Look out!
Look out!
I'm gonna pull for the homeboy. Let me put it that way.
Understood.
How you tell I'm getting old? I used to cuss you out about Clemson and Carolina.
You're getting a little soft.
Yeah, well, little wiser, Cole.
That what it is?
Yeah, you pick your battles, not to fight. You know, man.
Good point.
Yeah.
Hey, I got one for you. I got a piece of advice for you. You ready? Happy wife, happy life.
That's right. And you know what? all my Tiger friends, Tiger Bryan is on the Wilson team. That's all I got to say.
You're on the what?
Y'all have a great on the Wilson team.
You're on
Team Wilson.
Okay.
The Colonel.
Oh! You're talking about the election tonight. I'm sorry, I didn't understand. Yeah.
Hey, I'm saying, Tiger Bryan, Team Wilson. Hey.
Yeah. Did you vote? Did you vote today?
Oh yeah. Well, no, I early voted. I've been to his. He's been to Kershaw. He's been to Lancaster. Talking and
It took me about 3 minutes to vote today.
Still 14 minutes left to vote.
Yeah. You got time to get in there and get it done because there was no line.
At the precinct I was at, they was probably 75 or 80, and I left at 11 o'clock. I was sitting out there with my Wilson sign, giving the thumbs up. Oh, yeah.
I always like to go vote. I don't know about y'all. I like to go vote in Dillon County because I usually come back home with a carload of cash when I go in there. So it's my favorite county to vote in.
Casey Manning's on line
about
2.
California?
Dillon
what about
County.
California?
California as well. Dillon County, where you vote early and you vote often.
Oh, really? Okay. I reckon
I can pick on my own county because it has a
Democrat.
reputation for not having, shall we say, the squarest of all elections.
When was the last time you lived in Dillon County?
Actually lived in Dillon
Yes.
County? Actually called Dillon County the home?
Correct.
1978?
I think we can all agree that you can't call Dillon County your home.
No, it's my home.
I mean, it's where you grew up, maybe. But it's not your
I
home.
live in Columbia, but I'm from Latta.
Okay.
I'm a boy of Latta. Okay,
You're still a boy.
which is in Dillon County.
You've been bouncing around like a basketball, ain't you?
Who's this now?
I said, you've been bouncing around like a basketball in counties. But, Dillon must be a Democrat-controlled county if they voted 5 or 6 times.
It has been. It's been
Y'all want to let some... Hey, what about my recruits we've been getting? I mean...
Looking good.
Sounds good.
Yeah, looking
Well,
good. They want to add a
sounds
few
good,
more here to put the old icing on the cake. They've got 3 coming in for official visits this weekend. So I think they are genuinely pleased with what they've done on the high school recruiting side. It looks like a good, solid class at this point.
All right, guys. I'm going to let somebody else
All right,
talk.
thank you.
Hey, I enjoyed it. Y'all have a great night.
All right, Tiger Bryan, thank you very much.
And Phil, to answer your question, that was the only season that Matt Williams was on the staff at USC. Was year before last. He was at Liberty prior to that. And, Smitty's got a connection with him, too, because he's the Spartanburg Methodist guy, Matt Williams is.
Yep. Got some text messages here from the 803. About time. Makes sense. Good job, AD. Back on board and looking forward to going back to Founders and supporting this team. A grade of a home run is what this writer has given it from the 803. Another from the 843, Eddie. Boosters around town said Coastal counter offered 1.2 to keep him, but to no avail. Now, that's just talk from boosters. Or maybe we shouldn't have put that out there.
That's a lot of money.
So I'm not sure, but was told that from several high booster folks from Conway. Well, Maneri was making 1.3. Some of our information very early on was that first offer wasn't received well from the camp over there, from the Schnall camp. That the first offer, the first money being talked about wasn't well received. So, maybe that was part of it as well. Had to go back and do a little more negotiating to get things where it was acceptable. Maybe
Wait a minute. Maybe I'm misunderstanding the texter. Is he saying that Coastal was prepared to offer 1.3 to Kevin Schnall to keep him?
1.2, I think, is what I just read.
Wow.
Yeah.
If that's the case, man, that's great news for the next coach because that would be twice the amount of money they it looks like they're going to pay Ryan Beard.
Yeah. But again, that's just booster talk,
Yeah.
Gamecock Tony from Lancaster. This would be Tiger Bryan's twin brother from another mother. Everybody was questioning Alan Smothers last week, and in the end, he knew exactly what he was talking about. He's the man.
Yeah, I guess we don't have to give out any sirens for him.
No, but have it ready during the recruiting report.
Okay.
I got one. Yep. From the 864, you can take the boys out of ladder, but you can't take the ladder out of the boy. Thank you there, Russell,
go.
from the 864. You got that right. Will always be known as a child of ladder. How about you, Bergie? Always be known as a child of Rutherford to North Carolina?
Well, no, it'd be Lincolnton, North
I'm
Carolina.
sorry,
It'd be
Lincoln, North Carolina.
County. Yeah, it'd be Lincoln County.
Are you proud of that? Are you proud of that? Are you proud of Lincoln County, North Carolina?
I'm proud of my hometown, obviously, as everybody is. I'm less proud about the state of North Carolina and, sort of what it's devolved into over the years. I'm much happier to be here in South Carolina. Let's put it that way.
Plummer, you don't really have a hometown, do you? I mean, you live in a neighborhood. You grew up in like a suburb, right? Like Harbison or something. Are you proud of Harbison?
I grew up in the streets.
What, you grew up on the street?
Yeah, I grew up in the streets.
I mean, Harbison.
Right there, corner
Harbison is your.
Born at Prisma Health, Richland Hospital, and yeah.
Okay.
Just grew up on the streets.
All right, let's run to the breaks. Come back with
right
more.
there on the street, underneath the stoplight.
Phone number 888-898-2525. We've cleared the lines if you want to join us. Jump on in there, and more text messages coming up as well. 803-900-4847. We got recruiting. South Carolina adds a visitor for this weekend. We'll tell you about that. Former Gamecock pitcher finds a new home in the SEC. We'll tell you about that. Coastal's got some guys in the portal, John, as well. Tell you about that.
I'm attorney Jim Corbett. I'm not a case manager. I'm a lawyer for over 35 years. I don't charge 40% for your injury in your wreck case or any on-the-job injury. Call 803-765-2968 and ask for Jim Corbett, or email me, jim@jimcorbettattorney.com, for the experience of a lawyer handling your injury case. Jim Corbett, 803-765-2968. jim@jimcorbettattorney.com. Put 35 years of experience to work on your injury case.
Traveling can be the worst, especially when you can't find your favorite show. Well, don't worry. We've got the perfect way to keep up with everything happening in the Palmetto State when you're away from home. Just pull up the Chief Sports app on your mobile device, and you can listen live to Sports Talk.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Sports Talk Media Network.
So the next time you can't find us on one of our great radio affiliates, just log on to the Chief Sports app, the best way to stay connected with the Sports Talk Media Network.
There's a lot of things we take for granted in our lives. Your home's AC will run cool. Your drive-through coffee will be hot. And the car will start when it's time to take your kids to school. It's when things don't go as planned that you start thinking about who to call and where to turn. The good thing is, you can prepare for life's most difficult days by calling the Larry Lucas Agency today. Larry is a State Farm agent that has been taking care of people across South Carolina for more than 2 decades. You probably have insurance, but switching is easy, and bundling can save you hundreds or more. Most importantly, the Larry Lucas Agency can help you choose the protection you want at the price you want. All backed by South Carolina's #1 home and auto insurance company. Visit LarryLucasAgency.com today or give Larry a call at 803-799-1998. Like a good neighbor, Larry Lucas State Farm is there.
All right, got recruiting coming up in a little bit, but just seeing here a retweet from Jack Veltri at Gamecock Central. that the Gamecocks have struck in the transfer market, and they have struck Coastal Carolina. Here we go, Bergie. Left-hander Hayden Johnson announcing on his Instagram he's committed to South Carolina. I think this will be the first of several. You could say many, but the first of several from Conway coming to Columbia.
We haven't used
I think you're probably right.
We haven't used it recently. Does that get a flush? Is that the proper usage of a flush? If it's a completion of
No, that would be
transfer portal.
A flush is going out, not coming in. So this is coming in.
He's one of the guys, Phil.
We didn't get a chance to report him going out, so we're reporting him coming in.
I was just getting clarification on what a flush is.
The flush is going out.
So what's coming in?
We don't have one. We got to come up with one. Go ahead, Bergie.
The irony of Hayden Johnson's announcing that he's, I guess, signed or will sign with USC is the fact that if he had pitched all season long and not been injured, he may still be playing right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's how good Hayden Johnson was. Preseason All Sun Belt guy, his preseason perfect game All Sun Belt selection as well. Last year was 5-0. Really talented pitcher. This is a big pickup for South Carolina and another tough loss for CCU because had he been healthy all year, along with obviously Cameron Flukie, who knows? Coastal may be getting ready for the College World Series, not packing up their cleats.
He's coming off an arm injury, is he not?
That I think is correct.
Obviously, you say that. Obviously, he must be projected to be healthy for next year, or you wouldn't be taking a guy coming off an arm injury out of the free agent portal. But he is a guy that who else are they had some arm issues this year, did they not?
Mm-hmm. Well, keep in mind their ace Cameron Flukie had a midsection injury. I think a muscle in his rib cage, I believe, and then Hayden Johnson, it was a elbow stress injury, and then also Dominic Carbone, one of their top relievers, missed the entire season. So, you throw those three guys. I don't care where you are, Coastal or Texas. You lose your frontline pitching like that, you're probably not going to advance very far in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, feeling was with that pitching, they were going to go a long way. And they did. Look, they had a great season going until about the last 2 weeks. And then it sort of turned, maybe last 3 weeks, would you say? Last 3 weeks, it kind of turned on them?
Yeah, it certainly did. Down the stretch, they struggled, finishing Sun Belt Conference Series, and then they ran into Louisiana, who, for whatever reason, they just couldn't beat, whether it be the regular season finale or in the Sun Belt tournament. And then, of course, the whole Florida State scenario, and with the way that regional played out, it's a shame. Again, we got to see Cameron Flukie for 4 innings in his final outing for the Chanticleers, and didn't get to see what he could have done had we not had the extended weather delay. And, of course, Florida State lost their ace, too. So both teams had to deal with that. And, obviously, you see St. John's came out of that regional, not either one of them.
All right, so that's the first pickup. The first reaction from the standpoint of picking up a talent, the first reaction to the new hire, Kevin Schnall for South Carolina. And again, the thinking is that there will be several. Like the third baseman from Coastal Carolina is the son of the former Gamecock quarterback, Alan Mitchell. And
Walker Mitchell seems like a natural.
Yeah, he's in the transfer portal, John. One to watch. Okay, here's an interesting story about Will Wade. Tell you about it coming up.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, and fireplaces. Spring sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The U.S. military has begun strikes against Iran following the crash of a U.S. Army Apache helicopter off the coast of Oman. President Trump blamed Iran for the incident, calling it unjustified aggression. The crash reportedly involved a collision with an Iranian drone, though it's unclear if it was intentional. The U.S. Central Command described the strikes as a proportional response. A Texas teen has been convicted of murder in a fatal stabbing at a high school track meet.
A
Texas teenager who fatally stabbed a 17-year-old track athlete from a rival team during a track meet has been convicted of murder. A jury rejected Carmelo Anthony's claims of self-defense during a confrontation with Austin Metcalf in the stadium's bleachers last year. Anthony, now 19, did not testify. Most who did were students who described a heated exchange over his refusal to leave a tent belonging to Metcalf's team during a rainy track competition. Anthony faces up to life in prison. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
President Trump putting Vice President Vance in charge of investigating widespread fraud allegations in Minnesota and other states. Correspondent Laura Winters reports.
Right now, Vice President J.D. Vance is pressing federal prosecutors to investigate Minnesota Governor Democrat Tim Walz and the state Attorney General Keith Ellison. In a letter to the DOJ, Vance writes that the House Oversight Committee is alleging that both the governor and the Attorney General were aware of the pervasive abuse of government programs for years and allowed it to flourish.
Ellison calling the allegations unfounded. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 86 points, the Nasdaq dropped 250, the S&P lower by 19. More at townhall.com.
The following is a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
When I was feeling the stress of too much credit card debt, I looked at two different options: debt settlement and debt management. They may sound the same, but guess what? They're not. Debt settlement seemed like a quick fix, but I found out it would destroy my credit, create tax headaches, and hit me with huge fees. They actually told me to stop paying my bills. No way, not me. Then I turned to a debt management plan developed by the team at Trinity. They worked with my creditors, lowered my payments, reduced my interest, saved me thousands, and paid off my debt. And Trinity is a Christian company, which is important to me.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Heather. Please forget debt settlement and remember Trinity Debt Management.
1-800-990-6976.
AI drags the markets mostly lower.
Another sudden turnaround in AI-related stocks sent Wall Street on another roller coaster ride. The S&P 500 fell 0.3% Tuesday. That came at the end of a volatile day that brought the index up as much as 1% and down as much as 2.3%. The Dow edged up 86 points. That's about 0.2%. The Nasdaq Composite fell 1%. More drops in companies that sell computer chips and other building blocks of the AI boom sent major indexes lower. Advanced Micro Devices lost 3%. Broadcom fell 1.1%. Seth Sutel, New York.
European Union regulators have ordered Meta Platforms to restore access to WhatsApp for rival AI chatbot makers. The decision comes as the EU's Executive Commission investigates potential antitrust violations. News and analysis at townhall.com. From Washington, I'm Keith Peters.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. We will cool down, but not too much this evening. The low dips down to about 72. Tomorrow, it's a nice blend of sunshine and clouds. We'll be warmer. The high temperature is 92, and we get even hotter for Thursday and Friday. More of the same mix of sunshine and clouds. Highs around 96. A feels-like temperature reaching triple digit. Yeah, summer is about here. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, and fireplaces. Spring Sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com. The Point.
Welcome back to Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network. You can reach the guys with the South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number. 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now back to Phil and Chris with the second hour of Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network.
Okay, we're back with you. Hour number 2 of Sports Talk Media Network across the state of South Carolina. Welcome in. Appreciate you being with us tonight. Later on, take some more phone calls if you want to join us. 888-898-2525. We got more text messages as well. Text line number 803-900-4847. Of course, the big story of the day, Kevin Schnall, the new head baseball coach at the University of South Carolina. That might sound odd to a lot of people. Does it sound odd to our next guest? Let's find out. We welcome in the Hall of Fame coach from Coastal Carolina for many, many years, who raised Kevin Schnall as a baseball player and a coach, and then left him on his own to do what he could do, and he's done pretty doggone well. Let's welcome in Coach Gary Gilmore once again to Sports Talk. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Phil, I'm doing outstanding, buddy. How about yourself?
We're great. Thank you for joining us again. Well, Kevin Schnall, head baseball coach, University of South Carolina. How does that sound to you?
Kind of breaks my heart in a lot of ways, but not anything against South Carolina. Just I don't know. We spent a lot of years together, and a lot of sweat and toil and time and everything in building a program and a culture here. And it's feel like at this point it's kind of deteriorating in a hurry.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you're ultra successful. People come after your people.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh, listen, I'm very happy for Kevin, and he deserves it. And, I wish him great success and whole 9 yards. I think South Carolina, their fans, their administration, everyone, they got a steal in this deal. And I think he'll do many, many great things over his career there.
Did you have much conversation with him over the past 10 days or so as all this was kind of playing out? Did you get a feel one way or another about how he was feeling regarding this?
I mean, we had a couple of confidential conversations, absolutely.
And did you have a read on him at any time?
Yeah, I feel like he's kind of alluded to it or whatever. I mean, it's the opportunity of being at South Carolina with the vast fan base that they have, the resources that they have, the tradition that Ray and others have accomplished there and set in place there. I mean, it's hard not to want to be a part of that. Throw the economics of the personal compensation out of the fact. I mean, what a amazing job and opportunity is just in and of itself.
When he was an assistant for you over all those years, also a player, but then he became an assistant, what did you see in him that led you to believe that one day he would be not only a successful coach at Coastal Carolina, perhaps, and but also have the kind of makeup to be able to go and continue his career? I'm not going to say it at a higher level, because you guys reached the highest level too, but just at a bigger program in terms of the conference and the size of the school and all that.
I think as much as anything, just his passion for the game. He had an unbelievable passion for the game. He kind of like myself. He embarrasses himself if he shows up on a tee box somewhere. And so, his hobby is his job, basically. So, he does an amazing job with that. He, like I said, I think his passion and enthusiasm for baseball are as good as anyone's I've ever met. And, he just has a relentless attitude about him in regards to pretty much every aspect that he undertakes in the coaching world. I mean, he was an amazing recruiting coordinator here and did a great job with our catchers and some with the hitting stuff. I mean, he had his hand on quite a few things here, and over time as things will have it, he took on more and more responsibility as some of the challenges in my life became reality. That he was able to help me out a whole lot as well, and I think it really prepared him for this next opportunity.
Would you
hear that, Corn? The successful man has his hobby as his job.
I heard
the
that.
Golf course.
I heard that. I wish I'd been a golfer. That's where I'd like to be.
No doubt.
That's where I'd like to be. So
yeah, I know it.
do you talking with Gary Gilmore? So do you consider him more of a teacher? Is he a great teacher of the game in your opinion? Is he more of a strategist? What would you consider to be some of his strengths?
I mean, I think he's a great teacher. He's extremely detail oriented and very prepared from practice to games to recruiting. I mean, he has a lot of all of that, Phil, to be very honest with you. I think you have to be a little bit of everything, to be honest, to be a great head coach. And the things that you're only good at and not great at, you surround yourself with people who are better than you at certain things and help you come along. I surrounded myself with him and Coach Thomas and some other people during the years when we won a national championship, and Coach Schilling. Those guys all brought a skill set to me that furthered my skill set, if that makes sense to you. And
Sure.
I think for Kevin, I think that that'll be his challenge there. He's had that comfort zone here, being able to surround himself with those kind of people that are teachers first, and lack of a better way to put it, coaches second. I feel like he's a school teacher of the game of baseball, and I think that's his strong suit.
Mm-hmm.
The Hall of Famer Gary Gilmore with us here tonight on Sports Talk, chatting about Kevin Snall being named the brand new head baseball coach at USC. And Coach, during his 2 years at Coastal, he had vastly different years. Of course, went to the College World Series championship finals last year, and then this year just beset with injuries and still figured a way to guide that team into the NCAA tournament. First off, did he do a better job coaching, do you think, this year than he did last year? And secondly, maybe what did he learn as a head coach having to deal with all the adversity that they had to handle with this year?
Well, in 25, it was, in all honesty, for him, it was the perfect storm. Here's a young, energetic coach that, trying to, establish himself, and, he gets the 5 guys that I didn't have my last year that would have been 5 of our very best pitchers on that staff. We go into 2024 without those guys, and they get them back in, last year, and we're able to parlay that into, a national runner-up role right there. And, I think he did an amazing job in coaching those guys. Matt Williams did an incredible job with the pitching part. It just shows you how fragile life is in college baseball because, again, if we'd have had those 5 guys healthy, I truly believe we'd have been in Omaha in 24, because I feel like, the numbers tell you offensively we were significantly better in 24 than we were in 25. And, you would have had basically the same pitching staff that they had a year later. So, they benefited greatly from that. But, again, you still have to coach them, develop them, continue to refine them. And they did an amazing job with those guys. And then, this year kind of reminds me of us in 24. We won 37, 38 games. I can't remember exactly which, but we lost those 5 guys, and we're reeling from day one, trying to figure out how to replace them, how to figure out a rotation, how to do things. And once Fluky went down early in the year, it just kind of threw a monkey wrench into the middle of the machine. And they never, they won a lot of games. I think I can't quote me on this number, but I think it's the right number. We won like 12 games in our last at bat in the first half of the year. And eventually, man, the game of baseball catches up to you, because no one's supposed to do that kind of stuff. And so, I think here at the end, we ran into a little period of time where we couldn't figure out how to get that extra hit or that extra runner on base and different things. And we lost a lot of very close games there down the stretch, and it's just a game of baseball. They very easily could have come back against Northern Illinois. We were right there ready to do it, couldn't finish it. Same thing as Florida State. We had opportunities, man, and you look at how all of it turned out. They could have been in a position to potentially go to Alabama with a chance to win.
Assuming you don't want your old job back, Let's look at the Coastal perspective for a couple of moments.
Why would you make that assumption? Wait a minute. Why would you? Don't put words.
Question. All right, let me ask you that question, Coach. Do you want to be back at Coastal as the head coach?
No, listen, I'd love to be back at Coastal, but I'm perfectly fine buying a ticket and coming and watching. This world these guys are in today, players walking into you at exit meetings and demanding this and demanding that and whatever. I'm not cut out for that. I'm not. I'm all about players getting compensation. What we have created here is an unrealistic world of NIL that, somebody eventually has to do something to reel it in. This is kind of ridiculous on both ends. Honestly, what we're paying college baseball coaches, and I know they'll all hate me for saying it, but you got my guys making $3.5 million. That's a whole lot of money to win a few college baseball games. I'd be willing to bet you most everybody would be willing to take $10,000 a month and be happy as hell to be a college baseball coach.
I know I would. All right, Chance. So there's one name you can cross off the list. Gary Gilmore not interested in coming back.
Yeah. No. He is definitely not getting my resume. There's no doubt.
Your resume is hanging on the wall, Coach. You don't have to bring a resume to the interview. All right. So let's since you're out of the mix now, what direction do you think Coastal will go in, and maybe what direction would you like to see them go in?
My first choice would be to give Coach Oxendine, who's been part of this program for on and off for 20 years, to give him an opportunity to put a staff together that, is one of the best, if not the best, mid-major staff in the country, to surround himself with great people, and give one of our own an opportunity to show that he can do it. You look at you look at the last 31 years, and if you look at the 31 years, either Coach Schilling, Coach Schnall, or Coach Oxendine all have been a part of that program, us four guys. And, I would love to see Ox get the job, be able to keep Coach Schilling in place, keep that continuity. And, we got 2 or 3 Coastal Seeds out there that are pitching guys and recruiting coordinators and different things that are out there that, I'd love to see us use our own guys and try to rebuild this thing from the end, because it's nuts, guys. You look at in one day's time we have gone from a roster of guys to, I think we're down to like 5 or 6 guys on the entire roster that either aren't graduated or in the portal at this point. Yeah, that's how fast the world moves nowadays.
It's crazy. It
is. I don't know how these guys do it. I'll be honest with you. I guess that's why guys make $3 million, because somebody has to mentally figure out how to deal with all this mess or whatever. I don't get it. I don't know how you stand it when you just the kids we've gone from a system where we kind of crapped on the kids for all these years with the scholarships and the partial scholarships and all this stuff and no NIL money, to now we got 34 scholarships and dudes are making $250,000 is only kind of on the low end of a really star player anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it went way extreme the other way, that's for sure. So this might pain you, but tell Gamecock Nation across the state of South Carolina what they're getting in Kevin Schnall.
I think we've already pretty much touched on that, Phil, to be honest with you. I think you're getting one of the most passionate and innovative young coaches in the whole entire country. I think you're going to find out this guy, there's not a guy in the country that'll outwork him, and I think the players will love him and respect him for the knowledge he has and the way he goes about handling players. They know where they stand. They understand what the culture is supposed to be like and mean. It's just a different world. Together when he was here all those years, along with Schill and Ox, we had a culture we thought was as good as anyone's in the country, and now you can't do what we did. We brought in great athletes and made great players out of them over time. that formula is no longer an option. You know, you can't do that anymore. You bring in a young player that can play. The second they become halfway decent, Coastal Carolina can't. Schools like ours, we can't keep that $100,000 guy.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be, we lived and died. You look at, we won a national championship. There were a bunch of seniors, there were a handful of fifth-year guys. There were some regular juniors as well. But, I mean, it was a older team. I mean, talking to those guys when we had our reunion at the end of the year when they honored us for the 10th year anniversary. I mean, listening to talk to those 20-some guys that were there, it's like, Coach, we couldn't have stayed. We won a national championship. Most of us would have had to leave. Yeah, that's the sad part. You know, you think about it right now. Let's say Troy University goes in and somehow wins a national championship. If they have guys that can play, they go into portal. They can't stop them. They can't pay them. They're not going to have the resources to fork out that kind of money to keep a frontline. You got a frontline pitcher. You look at Beckwith. Beckwith won 3 games in the College World Series. MVP of the College World Series, won 15 games, 15-1 with a 1.97 ERA for the year. Can you imagine what that guy would get on the open market today?
Unbelievable. LSU, he'd have LSU all over him. I'm sure.
you have Mississippi State, Texas. I mean, he could probably name his price. I mean that's the insane part. But that's what you're up against. I think that's part of what entices a guy like Kevin to. I mean, the realities are, South Carolina, just with the support and the things that they have, give you an opportunity to show that you can be a great coach because you can go head to head with these people. The caveat to it all, there's a whole lot of pressure when you do that. You go from the pot of water into a bowl and kettle.
All right,
you guys see that every day.
Last thing, we'll let you go. Are we going to see you regularly in Columbia next baseball season?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm, depending on what they do here at Coastal, I'm hoping that if we can do some stuff in house, I'm hoping I can be some type of special advisor there and be way more involved. Because you have a lot younger staff and things like that. Maybe I can have a lot more positive influence. I mean, Kevin had been around me for 20-some years. I didn't need to sit there and look over his shoulder all the time. And but if Chad gets that job, then I'm hoping that selfishly on my end of it that I can be significantly more involved in the program and see if we can figure out ways to create a culture and figure out how to recruit and how to do things to maximize what we have at Coastal. We have a lot to offer as well. We just don't have the dollars that the SEC has.
Understood. Thank you so much for being with us. Hope you're feeling well. Are you having a good day today? Is everything good?
Yes, sir. Got my 4 grandsons here, and we've done some baseball, and 2 of them are at a showcase, little guy showcase. So we're doing okay. So I gotta hang around. I gotta see if they can play. See if they can go to college somewhere and play.
There you go. Maybe at Coastal, huh?
Yeah, no doubt. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shoot, might be a Gamecock one day. Who knows?
Who knows? USC Aiken. Let them go to USC Aiken. There you go.
There you go.
Nothing
there
wrong.
You go.
Nothing
Absolutely.
wrong. Yeah. Hey, great talking to you. Thank you for sharing your insight. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Bergie, you take care of yourself, man. Keep that boy straight now.
Yes, sir. I'll do my best.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.
Great talking to you. All right.
You too.
Gary
Bye.
Gilmore. Appreciate him being. So he's interested in getting back in the dugout. I love that.
Yeah, that's a fascinating comment. I'd love to see that.
Kind of like
really
a Jack
would.
Leggett up at Clemson.
Yeah, and it made sense. You kind of wonder when he said that. I totally understand his point about Kevin didn't really need him to lean over his shoulder because he taught him everything he could possibly teach him.
Yeah.
But yeah, younger staff, I think that'd be an invaluable resource.
Yep.
To have a guy whose jersey is retired on the wall at the stadium where you're playing makes pretty good sense.
Absolutely.
To bring him in the fold if you can.
Absolutely. All right. Appreciate Coach being with us tonight. Want to read this from Dabo Sweeney. Chris Lowe from On 3, used to be ESPN, went in and did a sit-down interview. Here are some quotes that stood out to me. So he was talking about, of course, the downturn last season. And are you going to get it back to where you used to be? That was sort of the theme of the story for the most part. And here's what Sweeney said. These are some selected quotes. Quote, "What I do know is that we're taking Clemson back to the top. That's right, TCBTT. When I got hired and I said, hey, we're going to win the national championship, everybody laughed at me. I'm sure they're laughing now, but again, it ain't about what anybody says about you. It ain't about what ESPN thinketh. It ain't about what Paul Feinbaum saith. It's about what you see. A lot of people have always seen me as a D+, but it's about what we see. It's about how we think. That's the only thing that ever matters." Now, he's going into
Dabo said thinketh?
He did.
And saith?
He
wow.
did. Yeah. All right, he's going into 18th season, and
isn't that hard to believe?
It is. And he was
it really is remarkable.
Talking about the changes and everything, and he said, quote, "We're not built for perfection, but absolutely we're built to last. Ain't nobody making excuses for last year. I mean, we fried it. And that's nobody's fault but mine. Same as 2010 when we won 6 games. And you know what? It's my job to fix it, and it doesn't get any easier. I'm not saying we're going to win the championship this year. We'll be better. You got different challenges now, but we got enough here at Clemson to compete with anybody." Last comment. Talking about retirement, Sweeney said, quote, "Hell no. I mean, I'm just getting going. I'm right about the same age Nick Saban was when he got to Alabama, so I'm just getting going, man. I love a challenge, and again, all we've done is win. Sometimes people want me to be like this guy or that guy, and I'm like, what's that guy done? How many championships has that guy won? I've got 11 championships. The next closest is Kirby, who's got 6. I've got 7 playoff appearances. There ain't another coach still coaching with 7 playoff appearances. Maybe if I had some big personality or social media, I could push back on some of the absolute bull crap that people make up. But you won't hear that from inside Clemson. People are happy here, and we ain't close to being finished." Dabo Sweeney.
Impressive stuff. And he's not wrong on a lot of what he says. I know most people who don't like Clemson and certainly don't like Dabo can pick apart what he said. Yeah, what have you done for us lately? But a lot of what he says is true. I mean, he does everything his own way. And for the most part, Phil, it has worked. Mm-hmm. And if you're against, as Coach Gilmore was just talking about, if you're against the transfer portal and pay for play to the degree that we've gotten to now, and where now we have a kid who's going to play who maybe legitimately is not playing as hard as he should be because he's got gambling problems. I mean, if you're against all of that, you should be pulling for Clemson and Dabo because he does it the old school way. Now, he's had to adjust. Yep. He's had to adjust, but for the most part, he's still doing it his way, and it's hard to argue the results.
I mean, he's given in some areas, like, taking some free agents. He's doing more and more of that.
Right.
But he still recruits high school players the same way by building relationships, by limiting the number of offers that they extend to make a Clemson offer seem like it's not just something coming from the nickel and dime store that if you get a Clemson offer, it means a little something special to you, And that's the kind of the psyche he's created about that. Be right back.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. We will cool down, but not too much this evening. The low dips down to about 72. Tomorrow, it's a nice blend of sunshine and clouds. We'll be warmer. The high temperature is 92, and we get even hotter for Thursday and Friday. More of the same mix of sunshine and clouds. Highs around 96. A feels-like temperature reaching triple digit. Yeah, summer is about here. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
Hey y'all, this is Ted from Flight Deck Restaurant. We'd like to invite you and your family to dine with us. We have a great menu that's sure to please your whole family. We have fresh cooked burgers, big juicy wings, blue plate menu featuring country cooking, oven baked hoagies, fresh crisp salads, authentic Greek food like gyros, souvlaki, and baklava. We also carry 20 different premium cheesecakes and pies. Flight Deck Restaurant also has an arcade with 30 different games like Star Wars, Batman, Skee Ball, Bass Wheel, Pac-Man, Galaga, and so much more. Flight Deck, your favorite family restaurant. Thanks y'all and God bless.
Of it. With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The U.S. military said Tuesday that it carried out strikes on Iran following the crash of an Army helicopter near the Strait of Hormuz that President Trump blamed on the Islamic Republic. U.S. Central Command said on social media that the strikes would be a proportional response to unjustified Iranian aggression. Iranian state media reports that the explosions were heard on Keshem Island in the Strait of Hormuz. A bill to provide nearly $70 billion for immigration enforcement narrowly passed the House on Tuesday and now goes to President Trump for his signature, fueling the administration's deportation agenda for the remainder of his time in the White House. On Wall Street, the Dow by 86 points, the Nasdaq dropped 250, the S&P lower by 19. More details at srnnews.com.
Nobody plans for a plumbing problem. They come unannounced and usually at a very inconvenient time. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning is your trusted ally. They recognize just how vulnerable a customer is at this time, and they want to help. They have well-trained plumbers who are there to make a difference when you need it most. I've experienced this. They're knowledgeable about their craft. They're not coming to your house to pitch new products. If something is broken, they'll give you a price to fix it if it's possible, or a price to replace it if necessary. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning is also locally owned and operated, or I simply wouldn't endorse them. Josh and his team prioritize customer service above everything else. They handle every issue with care and precision. Those are not just words. I've had Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning out to my home. They back up those words with their actions. If you have a crisis, get some peace of mind. Online, you find them at franklinplumbing.sc.com or you call 799-2222. That's 799-2222. I'm absolutely positive they will make whatever is wrong right again. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning.
Hey, this is Ray.
And Mary Ann with Absolute Glass.
We've been blessed to serve the Midlands glass needs for 20 years.
We have been fortunate enough to help thousands of customers with the best glass service in town and our store and all over the Midlands.
Sure, we can fix your windshield, usually at no cost to you.
But at Absolute Glass, we can also care for all your other glass needs too.
Home windows, shower doors, tabletops, shelving, storefronts, and all your commercial needs.
Contact us at 803-951-7200 or at AbsoluteGlassInc.com.
Just remember, if you can see through it, we can do it.
Insurance commercials are everywhere. The mascots, the catchy songs, it's a lot of noise. But when you have a question about your actual coverage, who do you call?
I'm David Jolly with South Carolina Insurance Brokers. I skip the gimmicks, focus on you and your needs. Whether it's your home, your car, your small business, I'm a local expert who's here to make sure that you're truly protected, not just sold.
Get the peace of mind you deserve from a neighbor you can trust.
Call me at 803-380-8877. I'm David Jolly. When you think of insurance, I ask that you think of me.
At Palmetto State Armory, we offer the largest selection of guns and ammunition at unbeatable prices. Our knowledgeable and friendly staff are here to provide personalized assistance, ensuring you find exactly what you need. If you enjoy outdoor activities like hunting, camping, or hiking, our clothing and outdoor gear collection has got you covered. We also feature an exceptional indoor range facility where you can experience the thrill of shooting in a safe and controlled environment. Visit us today at PalmettoStateArmory.com or your local retail store. Palmetto State Armory, American made for life.
If you've never had genuine Wagyu or Hereford steaks and burgers, you don't know what you're missing. Time to order the best of the best from HandJCattle.com. These are local farmers in Saluda where tradition meets quality. The best quality beef and a discount for Point listeners. Enter keyword The Point as one word and get 10% off, plus free delivery in Lexington and Richland County orders of $50 or more. It's cooked in season over at HandJCattle.com.
All right, time to talk some NASCAR for a few minutes here on Sports Talk. Talk about Darlington, talk about the race at Michigan. Turned out to be not one of the exciting finishes we've gotten used to because Denny Hamlin pulled away to about 11-second victory, but he showed some muscle, and that's a story to talk about. We welcome Josh Harris, president of Darlington, with us. So, massive wreck at Michigan, took out a lot of contenders, and then Denny Hamlin getting into his little summer hot streak again, runs away from everybody and picks up that win.
That's right. Exciting race at Michigan. I think we saw double-digit cautions throughout that, a lot of those on some of the restarts. But, yeah, Denny, once again, sat on the pole, but also had to start at the rear of the field because they made some changes to their car after qualifying. So I think it just continues to show the strength and the ability of Denny Hamlin at age 45, arguably maybe one of the best stretches of his career right now. He's got 3 wins, plus the All-Star win, closed the deficit on Tyler Reddick at the points lead to less than 50 now. So heading into this summer stretch, it's heating up for sure.
Yeah. Looking a little bit deeper into the finishing order, and Eric Jones. Have not heard a whole lot from Eric Jones lately. He finishes second. Bubba Wallace had a good showing, finishing third. So what about those guys? I know they were well back. I mean, they didn't really contend there towards the end, but a good showing for those guys nonetheless.
Yeah, Denny's margin of victory there. He really put it on him once he got out front, and but you got to give a lot of credit to Eric Jones, Bubba Wallace. Again, Toyota showing the strength of their organization as a whole. 3 different teams when you think about Joe Gibbs Racing, Legacy Motor Club, and 2311 in the top 3. And Eric Jones is from Michigan. It probably doesn't get as much notoriety, but I know that's a big one on his list is to try to get a win in his home track, and he was so close. Always run well there. Bubba's run well at these larger, wider ovals. So not surprised to see them, especially as dominant as Toyota's been, the speed that they've had. But then you look through the rest of the top 10, and it ended up being fairly even. You had 3 Toyotas, 3 Chevys, then 3 Fords, and then another Toyota to round out the top 10. So maybe start to see a little bit of that playing field equaling out as we head into the summer.
I was going to say this, and Bergie's going to jump in a second, but just looking at the final rundown, I mean, there's more carnage in this race than, especially at Michigan. I mean, you have some wrecks there, but I don't recall seeing the number of or the massive number of cars taken out in a single wreck like they had at Michigan. Am I forgetting anything, or do you agree that doesn't ordinarily happen because Michigan's so wide and it seems like they've got room to get around each other?
Yeah, I think this was probably a little bit of an anomaly just in terms of how many crashes and the number of drivers that they took out. I mean, when you think about the early on in the race when Carson Hocevar got into the back of Tyler Reddick and some other guys there and caused that one near the front. No intent there, but certainly took out a number of good cars when you look down towards the bottom of the finishing order there. I know Austin Dillon took a hard hit in that one. Then later on, Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell racing for second and third, right there in the top 5, and Chase Elliott just gets loose underneath Bell and couldn't save it, and both of them went up. A really hard crash for both of them, including Christopher. So, a number of guys that were running up near the front ended up getting taken out. Certainly led to some of those finishes that we saw, but nothing to take away again from Denny Hamlin and the dominance he showed once he was able to get up and get out front.
Mm-hmm. To Phil's point, 11 caution flags in that race this past weekend up in Michigan. Josh Harris with us, president of Darlington Raceway. And Josh, I know we're so into analytics in all sports, but this is the first time I think I've ever heard of NASCAR's Delta V, which actually measures the change in velocity. And according to that device, we had the largest wreck at least impact, I guess, in the next gen car since it made its debut in 2022. First off, how lucky is Christopher Bell that he only, and I say only, fractured his left wrist in that accident?
You know, when you saw it in real time, and then obviously going under red flag more so for repairs to the racetrack and the wall, but certainly a really hard hit, and one of those that it just happened so quick, and they're carrying so much speed. I think it's a testament to the safety innovations in the sport that we continue to talk about, whether it's the car itself and how much effort's been made to keep the driver safe in the car, but also, you know, the wall technology that we've had for 20 years now with this safer barrier. So I would think, you know, Christopher certainly probably doesn't feel good about having a broken wrist, but all things considered, still able to get back in the car this coming weekend at Pocono, another high-speed 2.5-mile track that's going to test them. But never want to see any injuries, but when they do occur, thankfully they're ones that these drivers can continue on.
Back to that Delta V technology for a moment. What exactly can NASCAR take from that? Does it work on improving, say, the soft wall technology, the Hans device inside the car? What can NASCAR learn from seeing a wreck like that that's the most vicious, I guess, for lack of a better term, that they've seen since the next-gen car made its debut in 2022?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm going to have to ask John Probst and some of those engineers at the R&D Center. But I would imagine that a lot of it is, you know, sometimes the angles of the car hitting the wall, and then how that ends up affecting the energy, how it's dissipated through the car. The construction of the car has been designed to try to absorb some of that energy so it stays away from the driver. And, you know, no crash is ever exactly like a previous one. And I think what they're able to learn in this is when they get a new data point through something like this, they can take and see how the car has reacted, see if there's any changes they could make to improve how that car absorbs that energy, is where I would go with kind of my first thought, not being in that space day in and day out.
We have not had a chance to talk with you since the announcement late last week, the sad news that Ned Jarrett, Hall of Famer, had passed away. Obviously, there's a lot of his racing history in our state in South Carolina, but certainly the dominance he showed in the Southern 500 many years ago. But just your reflections on Ned Jarrett and maybe interactions you had with him throughout his career.
Yeah, you know, the 1965 Southern 500, you know, we talk about a dominating performance by the number 11. Well, that was what he did back then. I think it was 14 laps that he won that race by, which is unheard of in today's modern era. But, you know, strong competitor, Hall of Famer on the track. And, you know, my personal memories, one of the first is Ned Jarrett being a commentator on TV and calling the 1993 Daytona 500 when it was the Dale and Dale show coming down to the end, and he got to call his son Dale Jarrett winning his first Daytona 500. So I think I'll remember him as much from just my time of being a part of the sport, being one of those voices that I remember growing up and watching. And certainly, you know, he hasn't been around the track as much in his later years, but always sad to lose any of our Hall of Famers.
Yeah, been a little tough run there from that standpoint last few weeks. Need to calm that down around NASCAR. Huge crowd at Michigan, sold out. Huge crowds pretty much everywhere the guys are going these days. How happy is the organization, are the organizations, I guess, the promoters and all, about the way fans are turning out? Is this a resurgence? Are we seeing some kind of resurgence in at the track attendance this season?
Well, I think it just goes to show the passion of the NASCAR fans spread all across the country and around the world. You know, Michigan has some of the best camping on the circuit, you know, rivals just about any track in terms of the size of that property, how many people show up to camp there. They fill the grandstand, the sellout, you know, just based on what we've seen the last couple of years. I wouldn't be surprised to see another sellout at Pocono. Again, these are tracks that over the last few years have gone from hosting 2 events to 1. And I think it's been, a good example of how the fans have continued to show up and support and show that they want that race there at Michigan and Pocono and some of these other venues. As we go some new places, we'll be out at San Diego in a couple of weeks racing on the Naval Base, which is really cool. But I'm so glad. I think it's a great sign for our sport, even in some tough economic times that are really out of our control, to see fans still showing up at the racetrack, and they're getting some great racing when they show up.
Absolutely. Things looking good ticket sale wise for your upcoming event, Cookout Southern 500, the first playoff race. Are you on pace to pack it in like you've been doing there?
Yeah, things are trending in the right direction right now. It's always good to see this early in the summer as we start to fine tune a lot of the plans around the weekends. Tickets are selling every day, which gets us excited, and looking forward to another sellout crowd come September 6th for the Cookout Southern 500.
Well, we look forward to having you back with us next week. As you mentioned, it's Pocono this weekend. Always an interesting race because of that particular track. Sometimes that one can get spread out too. Hopefully we'll have a close finish there. And we'll talk with you about it next week and other things going on in NASCAR. Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it, Josh.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll keep an eye out on Denny Hamlin. He loves Pocono.
Yes, he does. Yeah, no doubt. Thank you, sir. All right, Josh Harris, president of Darlington, with us tonight here on Sports Talk. All right, run to the break, and we'll come back with recruiting for you. As we go to the break, couple of text messages here from the 843. Just remember, Ernie Irvan ended his career at Michigan with no safer barriers. Yeah, that's where he took the hard hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is from Tilden and Aiken. Use the Star Trek transporter sound for incoming portal transfers.
I'll work on it.
I like that. Use the Star Trek transporter sound for incoming. I like it. Let's do it.
This is Major Billy Downer with the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources. Boating season is right around the corner here in the Palmetto State. As you get ready for this spring and summer, make sure your registration sticker is up to date and you have a copy of your registration card on board your boat. For more information on boat registration and answers to common questions, visit dnr.sc.gov.
Hi, I'm attorney Jim Corbett. For over 35 years, I've been making claims, litigating cases, and mediating cases. Quick checks from a car wreck are usually lowball offers. What happens 5 or more years from now when you didn't get the treatment or compensation you needed? Call me, Jim Corbett, 803-765-2968, or jim@jimcorbettattorney.com, Corbett with an E, and the initial consultation is free. Jim Corbett, 803-765-2968.
Looking for a new car? You need to think about a Kia. If you're in the market for an SUV, consider the new Kia Telluride or the new Kia Sorento. They're big, they're strong, and loaded with tech for thousands less than Honda or Toyota. You'll see the difference right away, and you get double the warranty. Plus, you get the JT's Advantage million-mile warranty and about 1,000 other things you have to see to believe. If you want the biggest bang for your buck, it's time to think about a new JT's Kia. We're serious about saving you money.
Looking for thrills? Then welcome to the South Carolina Education Lottery, where excitement's the name of the game, and every chance at a win
Just one more. Come on, so close.
comes with the chance of a whiff.
Ugh. Well, no biggie.
Nicely done. You handled it like a pro. Because when the stakes start getting too real and you find yourself playing for more than fun, it might be time to take a break.
Good point.
Playing for fun makes you a better player, and a better player is a better you. Learn more at SCEducationLottery.com.
Stop giving your hard-earned money to high interest rates. Founders Federal Credit Union delivers with credit card rates lower than the national average, with rates starting as low as 12.5% APR. That's way smarter than the over 20% APR rate the other guys are offering. Founders credit cards are reliable for all your needs, secure with MasterCard's ID theft protection and zero liability, and convenient with easy payments, loyalty points for rewards, and mobile access anytime through Founders Online. Experience the difference with Founders' lower cost, peace of mind, and effortless use. Take control of your finances right now. Visit foundersfcu.com/cc or an office near you to get your card today. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
The Sports Talk Recruiting Report is sponsored by Seawell's Catering.
All right, we've gotten to that point. Let's get to the recruiting report tonight. It is brought to you by Seawell's. Got Wednesday tomorrow, Over the Hump Day Wednesday. Good time to get to Seawell's. What you got?
Well. Here we are again. It's time to give you the menu, Phil. Tomorrow at Seawell's, Southern Fried Chicken. Italian spaghetti with meat sauce.
Any other kind?
There could be Swedish spaghetti.
Never heard of it.
Well, there could be. Grilled teriyaki salmon and fried pork chops.
Oh, God. What a lineup. That's equivalent, Bergie, to the 27 Yankees. That's a home run.
Well, don't say that because the Yankees next year are going to be bad.
No, they're not. They're going to be fine.
Yeah, they're going to be pretty bad.
They're fine.
Pretty bad.
Fine.
However, Seawell's is going to be great always.
Seawell's from 11 till 2 for the daily luncheon buffet. Get over there and then call Seawell's when you got that event coming up maybe this fall. Maybe the plumber is going to have his first date in college this fall. Didn't happen as a freshman.
Should I cater that through Seawell's? Should I have them bring a whole feast?
You want to impress her.
You're still a virgin.
Absolutely.
You're still a virgin on the dating scene. Haven't had that first date yet.
How would you know?
I keep my eyes on you.
Oh, do you?
I got my spies.
That's oddly creepy.
I got my spies.
Very creepy.
So when he has that first date, we're going to have a celebration, and we're going to have Seawell's cater it, and we're going to call him at 803-771-7385, or we're going to go online at SeawellsCateringSC.com. You can do the same thing and let them help you make your event very, very special. Bluffton wide receiver Amari Patterson announced today that he's changing his official visit plans for this weekend from Florida to South Carolina. He's taken officials to Georgia and to Georgia Tech. He lives in Ridgeland, of course. He visited USC for a game last season. He also visited for a spring practice in March. Last season, had over 1,000 all-purpose yards, 48 catches, 877 yards, 10 touchdowns. The other scheduled OVs for USC this weekend, subject to change, of course. Offensive lineman Caleb Seiler, defensive tackle Antoine McCoy, offensive lineman Elijah Jones, defensive end Chris Whitehead, safety Trey Geathers, offensive tackle Clayton Lee. Clemson official visits scheduled for this weekend, subject to change. Defensive tackle Seth Tillman of South Point, defensive tackle Segan Alexander, Raven Gap, Georgia. Linebacker, oh yeah, we need to have the siren here. Hit the siren. Got to have the siren. Little siren interruption here.
Just give me just a second here.
I'm like a great golfer who broke a rule. I'm calling the rules official over, and I'm penalizing myself. Who would do this other than the corn?
Well.
So, in my haste, the other day, of reposting the offer that R.J. Hudson got from Clemson, linebacker, Chesterfield, Virginia, I listed him in the 2028 class. He's in the 2027 class.
Fatal error.
So he's taking his official visit to Clemson this weekend. What are we up to now?
Let me check. I think we're at 63. We are at 63, Phil.
Okay.
Philip Kornblut.
One of the standout receivers at Clemson in camp so far, 2028, Barrett Price, 6 feet, 175 out of Hoover, Alabama. And, of course, Clemson recruits Spain Park and Hoover quite a bit. Recently signed quarterback Brock Bradley, They were recruiting edge rusher Marquise Evans for a while. So Tyler Grisham offered Price an invitation to come to Clemson to work out in camp. He was very excited to do just that. He came in and put on a pretty good show, he believes. Ole Miss, Arkansas, Missouri, Louisville, Nebraska, other programs have thrown offers his way, and he's just expecting Clemson to follow suit because he thinks he had a great showing there for the Tigers. So waiting to see if he gets that offer from Clemson. And he said Clemson, as his recruiting continues to pick up steam, he would hope that Clemson maintains their position in the running for him. Of course, that will depend if the Tigers come through with an offer. According to Max Prep stats, in 8 games last season, Price had 21 catches, 293 yards, and 3 touchdowns. South Carolina offered 2028 defensive back Tyrone Miller Jr., 6'1", 170 of Richmond. Penn State, Wake Forest, SMU have also offered. 2028 offensive lineman Ty McCurry, 6'6", 290 of Southlake, Texas, was at South Carolina on Monday. The Gamecocks offered him in April. He's up around 30 offers. Offensive lineman Jonathan Toney, 6'6", 290 from Dublin, Georgia, camped at USC on Monday. The Gamecocks have had some interest, had him in for a recruiting event in May, but they've not offered. Defensive end Caleb Spivey of Alexander City, Alabama, who had a Clemson offer and had the Tigers among his favorites, he committed to Georgia Tech, where he visited last weekend. Defensive end Andrew Rogers of Greensboro, North Carolina, who was scheduled for an official to Clemson this weekend, has canceled that visit. He also canceled a visit to James Madison. He just recently visited North Carolina. One-time Clemson target offensive lineman Reed Ramser of Orlando committed to Auburn. One-time USC and Clemson target defensive end Chaz Gray of Union, New Jersey, committed to Washington. Irmo running back Ty Phillips committed to Alabama over Florida State and Stanford. 2028 running back Michael Martin from Christ Church was offered by Georgia Tech. Baseball. Infielder Troy Sudbrook is headed to Clemson from Toledo. Last season, 11 homers, 71 RBIs. In 160 games, he committed 24 errors and 413 chances. Outfielder Larry Stamps of Tyler Junior College in Texas, decommitted from South Carolina from this year's class. Former Gamecock outfielder Aaron Jamison headed to Austin Peay. Former Gamecock pitcher Riley Goodman visited Vanderbilt and also going to be visiting Georgia, according to the transfer portal. Coastal Carolina right-hander Luke Jones has entered free agency. Coastal second baseman Walker Mitchell is entering free agency. Make that third baseman. That's a typo. Maybe he can play some second base. He's the son of former Gamecock quarterback Alan Mitchell. Coastal left-hander Hayden Johnson is in free agency, but not for long because he just committed to South Carolina about a half hour ago publicly.
And he actually committed to the school, right? Because Kevin Snow hasn't signed a contract with USC yet.
This is true, but he's expecting it. Former USC right-hander Connor Ciccoli is going to free agency, as is former USC infielder Eric Parker, and former USC right-hander Zach Russell is headed to Mississippi State. And in basketball, Furman announced the signing of former Missouri and South Carolina big man Jordan Butler, who is a Greenville native. Okay.
It could be a nice addition for them.
Yeah. If you could get him to play inside, he could dominate.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I would agree. I think he could be tough in the Southern.
He loves to stand out there and shoot the three. Okay, that's going to do it. Thank you, Bergie.
Thank you.
And thank you, Plummer. And thank you, Sheldon. Sheldon sitting in with us this summer to learn the tricks of the trade. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.